Hello everyone, today I'll be talking about 7 topics to get a 7 in your chemistry IE. My name is Shinwon and I'm a chemistry instructor at IB The Top. So before we get into the 7 topics that will get you a 7, I want to highlight the importance of choosing the right topic. So first of all, choosing the right topic sets the scope of your experimental work. So making sure that it is possible in a high school laboratory setting and making sure that the experiments are safe enough for you to do in a high school laboratory setting are very important in choosing the right topic. Secondly, choosing the right topic gives you the data to discuss and analyze, and having enough data is not only important in reducing your random error, but it's also important in making sure you have enough to discuss in your discussion and analysis section of your report, which takes up a big part of your writing. Finally, having the right balance between broad and specific is really important. So having a topic that is broad enough that you can discuss enough theory, but also specific enough so that you don't have too much to write about is really important. So the first topic is to determine the activation energy of a reaction experimentally. And the main idea here is to calculate the activation energy by changing the concentration of the reactants and determining the rate and finding the activation energy using the Arrhenius plot here. So the Arrhenius plot can help you calculate the activation energy using the slope, and this is a really interesting topic to write about as a lot of common reactions already have literature activation energy values that you can compare to and also get the percentage error from. The second topic is kind of an extension of the previous topic and is a little bit more challenging, but it's looking at how the catalyst affects the reaction and effectively how the catalyst changes the activation energy of a reaction. So here you would do basically the same thing as the previous topic, except you would do it twice and do the reaction with a catalyst and without a catalyst. And here comparing the different activation energies can help you determine how efficient the catalyst is, and also you can compare these with literature values as a lot of these are already quite well researched. So the third topic is counting calories. This can be really interesting for those of you who are interested in nutrition and food. So if you use calorimetry to determine the energy content of different foods, you can also compare it to the value provided by the manufacturer. So here I've given an example of energy bars. You can take a piece of the energy bar and combust it or burn it under a beaker of water and see how much enthalpy change there is and convert that to amount of calories there are in the amount of food that you've burned. The fourth topic is also related to foods for those of you who are interested in nutrition, and so we can look at the different vitamin C content of foods or different superfoods as they are known to have a lot of vitamins. So here, ascorbic acid, just another name for vitamin C, can easily be oxidized in the presence of an oxidizing agent. So if we do a redox titration here, we can determine the amount of vitamin C in a given food, such as orange juice or different fruits. Another extension of this could be to look at the amount of calcium in foods such as milk, amount of caffeine in tea or coffee, or the pH of different fermented foods, all involving titration reactions. The fifth topic is to look at organic reactions and synthesis, and the main idea here is to synthesize organic compounds through different known reaction pathways from Unit 10 and 20. Some examples of reactions that you can do is oxidizing alcohols, esterification of alcohols and carboxylic acids, bromination, and many others that we have discussed in the 2 units here. You can also combine these with different topics such as topic 5, topic 7, equilibrium, and look at the different factors that affect the rate or the different concentrations of the reaction. Here we have an example of a distillation setup if you wanted to do oxidation of a primary alcohol into an aldehyde and determine the percentage yield of the product. The second to last topic is to determine the buffering capacity of a solution. And so the main idea is to determine the effective temperature or other factors that a buffer capacity can depend on. This can be a bit of a tricky topic as buffer capacity is not explicitly stated in the chemistry syllabus, so it's a new concept. But it's simply just the amount of OH or H plus added to the solution and how it affects the pH of the solution and the total volume. So here we can do a simple setup with a burette and add an acid or a base and see how much the pH changes and determine the buffer capacity of the given solution. So the seventh and final topic is calculating the equilibrium constant of a reaction. You can determine Kc using many different experimental techniques, but one of the more interesting and fun ways to do it is to use colorimetry, which involves a colored compound and using the absorbance of the colored compound to determine the concentration. So here, it's very crucial that you have colored reactants or products that you can use in order to determine the concentration and therefore determine the Kc value. So those were the 7 topics that we thought would get you a 7 in your chemistry IA. Obviously, this is not an all-inclusive list, so make sure that these are just examples and you can always come up with new ideas and creative ideas that can get you a very high mark in your IA. But before we end, I want to just point out 2 main things. Firstly, what makes a good IA topic? Making sure that you have clear personal engagement and that you're interested in the topic is really important. And also understanding your theory and making sure that you link the data to the theory is also very crucial. Finally, having sufficient data to analyze and discuss is really important. And so your first steps in choosing your IA topic would be to firstly explore which topics in the syllabus are most interesting to you. Secondly, which is really important in choosing your final topic, discussing with your teacher what experiments are possible in your lab and also safe enough to do in your lab. And finally, defining clearly your independent and dependent variables is really important in formulating your research question. So this is all for today in the 7 topics to get you a 7 in your chemistry IA, and good luck with your IA. Thank you.